Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode of The Division 2. First and foremost, I want to express my sincere gratitude for the overwhelming support we have received. Surpassing 1,000 subscribers is a milestone I never thought possible, and I'm truly humbled by this achievement. Thank you. Today's build video is a celebration of this significant milestone. Before we proceed, I kindly request that you be mindful of potential spoilers. This video contains references and clips from the recently released film John Wick Chapter 4. If you haven't watched the movie yet and wish to avoid spoilers, I highly recommend watching it first. Otherwise, please enjoy the video. With only a few days remaining in the Golden Bullet event, there is no better time to share one of my favorite loadouts, affectionately named ExCommunicado. The inspiration for this build originated from John Wick Chapter 3, which coincided with the release of The Division 2 back in 2019. It has been a long time in the making. The primary focus of this build is to maximize damage output, akin to John Wick's shooting prowess, while also providing substantial resilience, as if you were wearing a Kevlar suit. Allowing me to emphasize that the build I share, including this one, are all stable loadouts that I regularly utilize. None of them are underpowering, ineffective, or comical. They're all capable of tackling the highest of difficulties. I am sharing this build during the Golden Bullet event purely for entertainment purposes. Rest assured that outside of global events, this build remains just as effective. I often employed it when playing as a vanguard or barricade, assuming a semi-tank role within my team. It enables me to block enemy spawn points effectively and eliminate threats with significant damage output. Not only will you dish out considerable damage, like John Wick, but you will also possess the necessary toughness to endure incoming fire. And just as John Wick is the champion in his own movie, you too can become the champion in your game. Now that we have established the build's premise, let us discuss the essential component required to make it possible. As John Wick famously stated,
"I'm going to need a gun."
I thought you'd never ask.
So allow me to introduce to you the Liberty, a remarkable weapon with specific characteristics that align perfectly with this build's objectives. Respect it, and it will respect you.
How'd you get this?
It is one of the most common exotic sidearms drops in the game. You can easily find yours from an exotic cache, which, luckily right now, you can buy with your global event stars at the global event vendor, or by farming pistol targeted loot areas. And the specs? Well,
21 round capacity magazine with a built-in compensator for virtually no muzzle flip. Fiber optic front sight, ambidextrous safeties, flared magwell for faster reloads, 2-pound extreme trigger, and for those more, how should we say, intimate encounters, this Viper has ferocious fucking fangs.
I have experimented with various other pistols in the past, including the fast-firing PF45, the slow-firing Diceros, Card, Busy Little Bee, and even the triple-shot burst-fire 93R. What I find out is that most of the fast-firing pistols lacks the kick or damage to efficiently take down elites initially engaged. However, this is not a one-pop wonder headshot build, which I may cover in the future episode. Instead, this build revolves around the later days of John Wick when he shifted away from solely relying on headshots. Ultimately, the Liberty emerged as the optimum choice due to its high single-shot damage and a two-part talent that synergizes perfectly with this build. Allow me to elaborate on its talent, Liberty or Death, which grants 2% weapon damage per hit stacking up to 30 times for a total of 60% weapon damage. Landing a headshot consumes this buff, however, and given how many stacks you have, repairs your shield for 3% each stack. Normally, you would not want to actively go for headshots, and instead racking up the damage stacks. Only hit the head if you want to see big numbers, one-hit kills, or to completely fill up your shield health. A bit on that later. The core of this build centers around a 4-piece Hunter's Fury set, which is specifically designed for close-quarter combat and aggressive playstyles. Admittedly, the 2-piece bonus of this set are of limited value in this particular build. The 3-piece bonus allows sufficient survivability by giving you 20% armor and 100% health on kill. The real benefit lies in the 4th-piece talent, Apex Predator, which gives you 20% amplified damage to all enemies within 15 meters with a marked debuff. Upon killing any debuffed enemy, other enemies within 5 meters will be disoriented, giving you enough time for follow-up shots or to reload. Apex Predator also gives you an additional stackable amplified damage buff up to 25% as you take down these marked enemies. As this build relies on significant hits, I strongly recommend stacking high critical chance. The Seska chest piece is particularly suited for this purpose, providing an additional 10% critical hit chance. Along with optimized critical hit rolls, you may also want to re-roll all minor attributes including the addition of mods to critical hit chance until you have hit somewhere around 50%. Then shift your focus onto adding more critical damage. And furthermore, the talent associated with the chest piece, Intimidate, which under the influence of bonus armor stacks up to a total of 35% weapon damage over 7 seconds to all enemies within 10 meters. Even after undergoing some nerfs, this talent continues to offer a substantial damage boost as long as you maintain bonus armor. Speaking of bonus armor, the Memento backpack completes this build, offering a trifecta of benefits with Kill Confirmed, bonus armor, passive armor regeneration, and additional damage buffs upon acquiring trophies. Moreover, the backpack contributes towards the overall survivability with its major blue core. And finally, the skills that will run are the Bulwark Shield. Note that it is a 6-core shield, meaning it will be at maximum possible health. The secondary skill can be whatever you wish. I run a Reviver Hive just to be on the safe side. You may run an Artificer Hive if you are keen on using the Bulwark Shield a lot. The 6th-tier shield comes from the 4 total blue cores on the gears, 1 yellow core on the Memento, and 1 extra skill tier offered from the Technician specialization. The total stats equals to 55% critical hit chance, 93% critical hit damage, and 125% headshot damage. Don't let the low critical hit damage fool you, as most of your damage comes from the high base power of the Liberty itself. The playstyle associated with this build perfectly emulates that of John Wick, as you must rely solely on your trusty pistol, just as John Wick relied on his. The combat strategy is pretty straightforward. Prioritize weaker enemies in engagements to trigger the initial Memento trophy pickup, thus initiating the build's momentum. As you accumulate bonus armor and thus maintaining your chest talent Intimidate, continue leveraging your ever-increasing damage output to eliminate tougher foes and stack Hunter's Fury. In doing so, you will accumulate more armor and, consequently, more power. It is a symbiotic relationship, an ascending path with no way but up. Should you require additional defensive capabilities, bear in mind that you have a Bulwark Shield at your disposal, which can prove invaluable in dire situations. However, the use of the Bulwark Shield is entirely optional. In the spirit of John Wick, this build offers ample survivabilities on its own. As you collect more trophies, you not only increase your survivability but also amplify your damage output. It is worth noting that this build lacks any direct healing capabilities. However, the combination of Hunter's Fury and Memento provides a potent synergy. Memento grants passive armor regeneration, allowing you to restore lost armor as you maneuver through the battlefield. Hunter's Fury, on the other hand, replenishes your health entirely after each kill, mitigating the risk of falling victim to status effect resulting from low health. Moreover, there are rumors that Hunter's Fury accelerates the activation of a hidden mechanic I dubbed Saving Grace, which triggers when you are on the brink of death, saving you from instant demise roughly every 60 to 80 seconds or so. The longer you remain engaged in combat, the more damage you will inflict, with potential body shots reaching up to 3.7 million damage and headshots exceeding 5 million. During the Golden Bullet event, these numbers escalate to 4.3 million for body shots and over 7 million for headshots. However, it is crucial to note that this build performs admirably even without the event's buff. As demonstrated in the showcase, it possesses substantial damage output even without the additional boost, exemplifying its ability to excel in various scenarios. The primary objective is to initiate the momentum and get things rolling. I hope you have enjoyed this video thus far and find it intriguing enough to consider implementing it yourself. I have always desired a pistol-centric build that mirrors the playstyle of John Wick, and this build embodies that vision. There's another variation of the John Wick pistol build, focusing primarily on pure headshots. If there is sufficient interest, I will gladly share that version as well. However, this particular build is significantly easier to assemble, with more accessible pieces and abundant weapon drops. It strikes a perfect balance between offense and defense, capturing the essence of John Wick's shootout style as you dance across the battlefield with your trusted pistol, delivering and receiving shots in equal measure. I firmly believe you will derive great enjoyment from this build, just as I did when creating this video. With a few more days remaining in the Golden Bullet event, you will experience peak performance like never before. For more content, please check out my AoE DPS and hazard protection stack attack videos. And additionally, if you are interested in farming strategies and preparations for the upcoming title update 18, I recommend watching my video discussing the permanent experience nerf and forthcoming overhaul. Once again, thank you all for your support, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.